Hello everyone, welcome to another crazy video. Before we get into this conversation, I'd like to share one of my nicest person who leaves comments for me, and I enjoyed his comment. He said, your channel is going to be taken down off of YouTube because you, talk about me, are spreading lies. You will be punished severely. Now, this guy told me he's not a Jehovah Witness. Now, I'll let you know what lies has I told anyone. I was a Jehovah Witness, and I seen so many lies. I seen the name Romanus Martina in the literature, and when I found that name later down the line, when I left, my mind opened up and said, hey, there's the name. Watchtower claimed he's the one who found the name Jehovah. Now, this video you're going to watch later on is talk about Jehovah. What can you give back to Jehovah? Now, people, first of all, when you become a Jehovah's Witness, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta quit your smoking. You gotta stop watching movies that you thought was good. Now you're only allowed to watch G movies or whatever. You don't have a life. If you got a good job, kiss it goodbye. Because if the elders don't approve of your job, you have to quit. If you want to be a singer, a musician, you got to quit. You're not allowed to have a career, to even have a life, to enjoy life with your Jehovah's Witness. To them, if you watch this video, to them, you're helping people by knocking on doors. But get into an area that you can help victims that have got in child molesting, people who got involved with elders, or people like Jehovah's Witnesses, abuse their wives, their children. The lady said that she don't want to go home feel miserable, but she'd rather go door to door and have a happy face when she comes home, because she's trying to bring more people into this cult, this false religion. And this idiot guy on there pretending that he had a singing career, and he gave it all up because he was passing Jehovah's Witnesses while he was in the back seat watching these guys walking down the street. And he remembered when he was a Jehovah's Witness how righteous it was to be a door knocker for Watchtower. I remember those good old days, knocking on people's doors. Matter of fact, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he said those idiots loves to knock on people's doors. I looked right at him. I said, I used to be in one of those idiots. Because I had no knowledge that I was destroying people's lives by knocking on people's doors. Now this talk this elders giving, and they have a video. So leave your comments. Tell me what you think of it. And people, before you give up your life for a good career that you can put money aside for your retirement, remember, people like me, Mike and Kim and others that's 55 years old, some 60 years old, 70 years old, none of us put money aside because Watchtower made us believe. Don't worry about giving money out to help you support yourself in the future. Just give it to the Watchtower, and Jehovah will provide, and He will help you out. So, a friend of mine told me a story today that her neighbors got come up with quite a bit of money. I think it was over $1,000. I'm going to say $600, $800, somewhere in the neighborhood, to do with back taxes. And sometimes they miss the meetings. But tonight, when she got home, they was at the meetings. Do you think that Jehovah was going to bless them by if they're going to the meetings and someone's going to hand them out the money they need to pay their taxes? Oh, He must be a one loving God. You're right. But anyway, that shows you hypocrites, Jehovah's Witnesses are. They're relying on a false God that we educated ourselves, understanding God and Christ hates anyone who's serving a false God. Because remember, the Israelites got punished by serving so many different false gods. And Jehovah's Witnesses don't read the Bible and understand why God was upset. He showed them who He was. He gave them plenty of food, water, and everything. All they had to do is stop serving false gods and treat each other as human beings. And Jehovah's Witnesses can't even do that with a shunning policy, ripping people apart from the families. This is not love. This is a cult. This is a false religion. But remember, Jehovah loves you. Always remember that. He would never ban you. Of course He can't ban you because He doesn't even exist. So, why waste your time in a religion going door to door for a God that does not exist? God's name is not an English name. It's in Hebrew. People, do your research. Like I told one Jehovah's Witness, I am not going back to worship a false God that does not exist. I mean, that's plain simple. So you walk around knocking on people's doors for a false God that does not exist. And this guy wants to shut my YouTube channel down because for me not to recognize and abandon this false religion that I was in. He's the one who needs to wake up and get out of this program, whatever he is, claiming not to be a Jehovah's Witness. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people that's not a Jehovah's Witness that defend Watchtower and Jehovah's Witnesses. But this guy is going overboard. He done called me names and everything. Just because I disagree with Watchtower, disagree with Jehovah's Witnesses with their preaching work. It's wicked, disgusting, and to bring people into this religion so their children could be molested by an elder or someone in the congregation. People, you need to wake up. So thank you for let me tell you my feelings. Please watch this video, and you'll see how stupid these videos are, brainwashing these videos are, to make you think by following Watchtower's policy you will guarantee to live forever in a paradise earth with pedophiles, liars, wife beaters, everything that Jehovah's Witnesses are doing. They're no different than any religion, but most religions don't have this extreme hatred what Jehovah's Witnesses are showing each day. So thank you very much, and y'all have a rest of this week to be fine, and when I get some more interesting information, I'll put them up. But meantime, I'm not the one going around lying about Jehovah's Witnesses. I was a liar to the public when I was a Jehovah's Witness, claiming this was the only true religion, and I was lying to people. So if he wants to shut my video down, if I was protecting this religion and claiming that Jehovah is a true God, oh yeah, please take my videos down, because I deserve to be shut down if I was telling people to join this false religion. Then you can shut me down. Till then, I'm not going to. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.
I want you to imagine from the time you were born, every month, you didn't know who, but someone sent you a check for $720 a month. And it came month after month after month. It was right on time, just like clockwork. That check came every month, $720. After a while, you forgot to even wonder who it was. You just came to rely on it. But then one day, let's say 20 years later, checks still coming every month. Someone knocks at your door and they say, "Hello, I'm the person that's been sending you the check." Now you on guard. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I have to repay all this. No, you can keep it. You can keep it. But I tell you what, now that you know that I'm the person that's sending it, do you think you can give a little bit back to me? They don't tell you how much, just whatever you think. What would you do? They've been giving you $720 a month. For all these years, you didn't even know who it was, and now you know who it is. And that's just for a little bit back. Did you give him 20? 100? 3? Maybe even half? Let me explain the intent of this illustration. The person that gives us $720 a month is Jehovah. It's not dollars, it's hours. He's given us 720 hours a month from the time we were born. Whether we knew it or not, he gave us that time. And it may have taken you some time to get to know him, maybe even 20 years for some of us. But now that we know Jehovah, he's saying, do you think you can give a little bit back? How much are you going to give back? Are you living your life to praise Jehovah? Make no mistake about it, friends. Every human on the planet, whether they realize it or not, they live, they breathe, they exist for only one reason, and one reason only: to praise Jehovah. That's the bottom line. That's why humans even exist. Why do we say that? Open your Bibles with me to Revelation. Revelation chapter 4. And we're going to read together 11, and it's going to justify what we just said. It says, you are worthy, Jehovah our God, to receive the glory and the honor and the power, because you created all things, and because of your will they came into existence and were created. You see that? If it were not for Jehovah, none of us would breathe, live, or exist. Even people that don't know Jehovah. But now that we've come to know Jehovah, we have come to know Jehovah, what are you going to do about it? Life is precious. Jehovah's given that to us, and he's identified himself, and he's worthy of the honor, glory, and power. He created all. If it wasn't for Jehovah's will, we wouldn't even exist. No one would exist. Jehovah rightfully deserves to be praised. And so that's why this part tonight is going to be talking about live to praise Jehovah. It's a no-brainer. Without him, we don't even exist. Jehovah has given humans gifts, talents, abilities, skills, you might say. All humans have it, including his people. All of us have a skill, talent, ability. Some of our brothers and sisters have 2, maybe even 3. For others, we may have to look a little harder, but they have at least 1. Guaranteed. The question is, once we've identified those skills, talents, and abilities, are we using them to honor Jehovah? That's what's involved in living to praise Jehovah. And so tonight, as we look at our video, and we afterwards will do some personal examination, some personal application, we want you to ask yourself some questions. What am I doing with my life? Am I, now that I know Jehovah, and he's been giving me so much over the years, even when I didn't know him, now that I know him, am I giving Jehovah my very best? What about your job, your career? Are you focusing on that? Do those things indicate that you're still giving Jehovah your very, very best? Is it possible, this is for you and me, all of us, could we extend ourselves even more in Jehovah's service, so that when we stand before the supreme sovereign of the universe, we can say, I've been giving Jehovah my very best. I'm living my life to praise Jehovah. In the following video, notice the strong points that our brother makes And afterwards, we're going to examine some questions to see if we can get some personal application. Listen to the video.
So, if the devil tempted Jesus, don't you think he would try to tempt us in order to jeopardize our relationship with God?
This is the best contract we've ever offered you. Listen, I'll get you a plane so you can attend your religious meetings during the week. Just do the concert for us on the weekend.
People always ask me, why did you leave the music world? When I was still a boy, I had dreams about becoming a famous singer. Then I learned the truth, but I never fully removed those dreams from my heart. And then I started listening to some bad influences from my past. And they got me hooked. Then they reeled me into the recording studio. The lyrics in the songs, it really bothered my conscience. So they offered me some liquor to loosen me up. And then I started to feel more comfortable. I started singing and they liked what they were hearing. And those songs ended up all over the radio stations. It was as if Satan gave me a trophy for abandoning Jehovah. I became addicted to the applause. Everything looks so beautiful, but when you're on top, when you're really at the top of Satan's world, there's nothing beautiful there. I was an actor, and when the cameras turned on, my face and my smile turned on too. But when I would get back to the hotel, it was a huge letdown. There was no applause, just that silence that tormented my conscience. So basically, you had to find other distractions, and one of those for me was the slot machine. And of course, casinos don't just come with slot machines, they also expose you to prostitution and alcohol. My conscience would ask, what are you doing here? I remember those times on tour. From my limousine, I'd see the brothers preaching, and that would always touch my heart. I would say to myself, wow, Jehovah trained you to be doing that, and look at what you're doing. That really cut deep into my heart. The road back to the truth was really very hard. Every time I was going to retire, I'd say, this is it. But then there would always be a bigger contract. I had to make drastic decisions. But finally I said, I don't care what they offer me. I have to return to Jehovah. I have to fulfill the vow I made to him when I was a young man, when I dedicated my life to him. So I prayed to Jehovah very earnestly and said, Jehovah, I need to return to you. I need to return to your loving arms. Satan has ripped me away from you. Please help me. I remember that before I went into that first meeting, I told Jehovah, please give me a sign that you will take me back. And there was an elderly sister there. She gave me a great big hug and said, welcome back, son. And she took my hand and sat by me during the entire meeting. I have betrayed Jehovah, but I thank the brothers, because Jehovah put brothers at every turn. They showed me with the Bible how far I had strayed from the paths of the true God. And everything you do has consequences. I have asked Jehovah many times to forgive me for all the things I have done, and the brothers too, all the people I offended by my actions. All those trophies I won, every last one of them, are there collecting dust. But Jehovah has given me a different kind of trophy in his organization, helping others to dedicate their lives to him. That's something no one can take away from you. We don't all have to learn the hard way. We have to keep enduring and never turn our backs on Jehovah. That's the worst mistake anyone can make. We know that it's Jehovah who gives us our talents, so we should use them all in his service. I have found happiness And that gives me a glow that's not just for the cameras. Everyone who knows me can see it.
Very touching video. Use your talents for Jehovah. So just a few questions, and we need audience participation with this. Why is it unwise to offer our talents to Satan's world? Why would you say that, Sister Ladafosky?
Well, 1 John 2:17 brings out that the world is passing away, and so is its desires. So to offer something to the world that belongs to Jehovah would be, so to speak, as throwing your pearls before swines. It would be useless. It would be a waste of your precious time and talents.
Yeah, yes indeed. Sister Rivera.
And this also brought to mind the scripture at Hebrews 11 verse 10, where it talks about Abraham awaiting the city that has real foundations. So that should be our viewpoint of this world, going along with the cited scripture, because putting our time and talents, focusing on the system, is like spending the time building our dream house on a foundation that is in the process of crumbling.
Yeah. And final thought, Sister Milo.
And it's such a waste, because by doing that, all we're doing is making Satan happy,
Mm-hmm.
and all it's doing is bringing it, or drawing us further and further away from Jehovah. Again, making Satan happy.
Yeah, we want to live to praise Jehovah. So the second question is, what blessings come to those who give their very best to Jehovah? Sister Chelsea Benoit.
Well, the brother was telling us that he found true happiness, not just for the cameras, but anybody that knows him knows that now he's really happy.
Yeah. And Brother Bill.
The inner peace within himself. As he was mentioning in the video, his conscience was bothering him at certain points. So within himself, he has that peace, but that also would be a addition for outward. What is he doing to help himself?
Mm-hmm. And we didn't need the video for this. Isn't it true from personal experience? The more we give to Jehovah, the more we give our best to Jehovah. Aren't you happier? Don't you feel better? Certainly makes me happy. I'm looking at the smiles on your faces. It's just a true fact. Additional thought, Brother Cheney?
In our video, we got to see where he left that whole world behind. He could have not given his best, just give some and try to have one foot in each world. But we see in the end, he was there walking by, it looked like a creek, beautiful family that he may have never had, and all of that bad conscience was gone.
Yeah, right. That's his sister, Kim Joseph.
Look at the friendships he won back. His sister gave him the biggest hug. Brothers were just there for him. Kind of feels like we feel here with the Papa.
Thank you for that. Here's the third question. In what avenues of sacred service might you volunteer your talents and skills? Let's get Sister Brooke first. Sister Bassan.
I want to preach in a foreign language.
Okay, great. And did the young sister have a comment? Right here, please.
I want to play an instrument to make a song for Jehovah.
Very nice. Thank you for that. Anybody else? What avenues of sacred service might you volunteer your talents and skills? Sister Hugh.
There's so many things we have today. Construction skills. There's a big need there with LDC. There's remote volunteers where they can use all sorts of skills the brothers and sisters may have. We have a facility not far from us, Palm Coast. People can volunteer there. So there's many, many things. If we pray about it and we think about it, talk to others, we might be able to do.
Thank you for that. And Sister Milo?
I always thought growing up I wanted to do something where I could help people, so I thought about getting into social work or psychiatry, but then I felt like my empathy for those people, I would be coming home depressed. So being able to pioneer has been the perfect avenue for me to to have that empathetic spirit for people and really able to help people without coming home depressed, because I come home happy and joyful every day that I'm able to share something that's truly going to help people.
Thank you for those expressions, friends. And one final thought in the back. Is that Coco?
Go on service.
Can we get an
Go
interpretation?
on service.
Go on service. Very good. I have as a personal goal to get into the full-time ministry and to, if approved, to work with the patient visitation group as part of the hospital liaison committee. But it's an opportunity for all of us to examine ourselves and our lives and where we are, to see if we are living our lives to praise Jehovah. I love the family worship suggestions. Interview a publisher has been serving Jehovah for many years. My wife and I went over this. We plan to do this, and we discovered that there are actually quite a few right in our congregation. Why don't we challenge you to do the same thing? To look over this list, go to the broadcast and look on the interviews and experiences, make this part of your family worship, and see perhaps how you too can be encouraged to live your life for Jehovah. Remember, praising Jehovah each day leads to true satisfaction and true happiness. Let's give our attention back to our chairman.